need to know who the is in charge. Who I need to talk to. Because listen, when I tell y'all, I've been looking for a new job because I'm sick and tired of the job that I'm at. And I really don't care. Honestly, I don't care. These jobs do not pay enough for what the they be wanting you to do. And honestly, it's like, are y'all employers, are y'all paying attention to the cost of living out here? Are you paying attention to the fact that these groceries everything has gone up, but our pay? I'm sick of going to work I'm sick of going to work and I can barely pay my bills at the end of the month.
In today's economy, do you think a couple that brings home $100,000 is enough to support a small family of like 3 to 4 people? I asked this because I made a post yesterday about how Americans are really struggling, and it was really sad and eye-opening to me to see the amount of people who said, I make 6 figures now, yet we're still struggling. And I don't mean is it enough to buy like luxuries. I just mean is $100,000 enough to live comfortably without having to live paycheck to paycheck. It's not the dream life anymore. Like if someone would have told me my husband and I would be making what we're making and still having to cut back on necessities, I would have been like, you have to be kidding me. Like we didn't even go on a vacation this year because the last thing I'm going to do is put a vacation on a credit card, but we didn't have extra money to bring our kids on a vacation, and we both have good jobs. So if you think $100,000 is enough, I'm curious, what's your location? Do you not have children? Like why do you think it's enough? Because I'm telling you from yesterday's post on here, the comments say different, and the comments say that a majority of Americans are really, really struggling, and I mean hardworking Americans.
Does anyone else feel like they're absolutely drowning financially?
I'm glad you asked. And it's not dark just because it's nighttime. Oh no, it's dark because I have no electricity in my crib right now. And no, I'm not joking. I am not joking at all. So, I definitely feel the struggle, you know?
Yeah, I just had to get on here and say that these jobs is not paying enough for the disrespect that they give you. Literally, like, they not paying enough for you to be working 10, 11, 12 hours. They not paying enough for you to be in there every single day just to get a decent check. That's really sad, taking away your whole life. People got kids at home. People got they man to go home to. People got their dogs to feed. They got all that, and you can't even have your at-home life. You can't even enjoy your personal life because you got to be at work every single day because these jobs don't want to pay nothing for real.
What's going on, guys? JC Nita here, back with another video. Today we're talking about wage struggles. If you're unaware, there's something going on that people are calling the silent depression. And what they really mean is that if you look at any of the stats online or listen to the media, they're going to tell you that the economy is booming, that unemployment is low. But in reality, a lot of people in the US are not necessarily feeling that. They're feeling the opposite. So this video is to cover that. Before we get into it, I have a really quick favor to ask you. If this is your second time or more tuning into the channel and you find any type of value from it, please feel free to smash the like button and to subscribe if you feel so too inclined, because it helps with YouTube algorithm and I would greatly appreciate it. And with that, let's hop into the video.
People are always saying that the average American makes $45,000 a year. Where does the average American work? I want to make $45,000 a year. Are you kidding me? The most I have ever made is $30,000 in a year. Where are these people working that they're making $45,000? Like, don't just tell me that they're making $45,000 a year. Where do they work? Is their job hiring? I need more details. Like, where are they getting these numbers from? I don't think I know anybody in my life who is making $45,000 a year. Like, that is insane. I think that's like the average, only because like there's literal billionaires who are making like so much in a year that like regular people, they're like, oh, the average is 45,000. The average person, I would say, probably makes like 30,000, like 35,000. Like, you're not making $45,000 an hour on like a $15 an hour fast food salary. Like, where are the people who are making $45,000 a year? Where are they working? Are they hiring? Tell me that, America!
Okay, so you are the sum total of the 5 closest people who you hang around. And it sounds like the 5 closest people who she hangs around all need to level up a little bit. And I'm not trying to talk down on anyone that makes less than $45,000 a year. I'm not doing that at all. My first assumption is that she lives in a low cost of living area. And because she's in a low cost of living area, she makes less money than someone who's in a high cost of living area. Personally speaking, I'm in a high cost of living area. I don't know very many people who make less than 45,000 a year where I'm at, except for those folks who work in non-skilled professions that don't require a degree necessarily, or don't require a high-paying skill. But where I'm at, there's a lot of people who work in tech, who work in government services, who work in STEM and in healthcare and administration, and they're all making, not all, but many making at least minimum, the bar is 60 to 70,000 a year. And again, I'm in a high cost of living area. Maybe she's in the Midwest, maybe she's in the South, where it's going to be less. But with that being said, I still think that $45,000 a year is right around the average, or even the median. Because she said the average because it might be being skewed by billionaires, people who earn a lot of money. She could be right, but thing is, I think that might even be the median salary. So I'm curious to see what people in the comments section said about this. Let's take a quick look. Someone says 45,000 seems incredibly low. Those are my thoughts too. Someone says, did you go to college? I don't know anyone that makes less than 60,000 probably. Okay, now I was surprised by this because I see 240 hearts. I was expecting people to flame this person and say, what are you talking about? But let's see what the comments to that comment are saying. So someone writes, I've got a bachelor's grad certificate, 10 years of work experience, and don't make 45K. But I live rurally in an area with low cost of living, and I'm making more than most I know except for licensed professionals. Well, almost exactly what I said verbatim. So 45K is what this person's making, which is actually what the average is that she's so shocked by, but they live in a low cost of living area and they don't have a college education. Oh no, they don't. What they say? She has a bachelor's degree, but they live rurally. Okay. So then someone says 30K is the most you ever made. That's honestly insane. I make 60K and that doesn't feel like enough. Okay. Again, along the lines of what I'm thinking. This person says, I make 65K in marketing and my husband makes 46K in higher education. My job was entry level and didn't require a degree. His required a master's. Isn't that messed up? LOL. So this person is talking about how she makes more than her husband, and I think one of them, he has the master's degree or something like that. Nonetheless, they're both making more than the average she's talking about. So I do think she just might be in the wrong crowd. She might be, maybe she just kind of grew up in a environment that didn't prioritize earning money or going to, and not that she had to go to school to earn a lot of money, but I'm not sure. She just needs to broaden her horizons and expand her, maybe where she lives, the people she hangs around, whatever, because she's talking about stuff like $15 an hour at a fast food place. Yeah, that's true. If you're making $15 an hour, even where I'm at, in my local area, jobs in, the local grocery store or gas station or fast food restaurant pay around 15 to 18, maybe max 20 an hour. So I can see where she's coming from there, but I don't think that is the majority of people necessarily. So
It's kind of irritating when people will be like, oh, well, just save up for it. Oh, you want to go on that vacation? Just save up for it. It's fine. Just start saving. It's like, bitch, I literally don't even make enough money to pay my bills. And every time I pay my bills, I'm in the negative. I make pretty good money, okay? And I pay my bills and I literally don't make enough to get to work. I don't make enough to get gas. I have to ask my husband for gas money every 2 weeks. I'm literally struggling. I have negative $65 in my account right now. And when I get paid, that $65 will go back up to zero. And then I will have to pay the mortgage and daycare and phone bill. And I'm going to have like $200 left. So I'm literally living paycheck to paycheck, drowning. And people are like, oh, just save your money. My Nana's always like, just put away 20% of your paycheck. I can't do that. So I failed my medical.
I want to say it sounds like she has an income problem, and you might be saying, well, duh, no dip, Sherlock. Fair enough. But she's complaining that she's living paycheck to paycheck. Now, she did mention she has some pretty big bills. She has the mortgage, although it may not be a high mortgage, who knows, and childcare. No matter where you're living at in the country, childcare is expensive. I know that for a fact. I don't have kids, but I know plenty of people that have them, and childcare. Some people make the decision to stop working because what they're making, one of their partners or spouses or whatever, what they're making is less per hour than what they're paying for childcare. So they're effectively, the person just stops working to become a full-time childcare provider. So I feel the pain on that. With that being said, some way, somehow, she's find a way to make more money. whether that's side hustling, what have you. Maybe she does that. We'll find out in a second. It has to be done because she's living in paycheck to paycheck. And this is a prime example of why people go into credit card debt. There seems to be maybe a few camps, but two major camps of people that go into credit card debt. The first camp are those people who live above their means and buy things they can't afford, oftentimes to impress people that don't care about them. That's the first camp. Second camp are people who just don't earn enough money. So what happens is they have to go into credit card debt to pay for things that they need to get by in life. But let's let her keep talking to see what she does for a living. I'm curious.
Coding exam by 10 points. In order to retake it, I have to like redo my registration and pay $300 and retake it. So I'm like, oh, I'll just save the money, right? To $300. How the fuck am I supposed to save $300 to retake that exam when I can't even pay my bills as it is with the money I make now? Like, it's pretty bad that like you live paycheck to paycheck as it is. And that doesn't even include like, what if something happens to my car and I need to buy parts for it? Or what if like the electric bill goes up by $20? Or what if like, I don't know, daycare gets more expensive, or I lose hours at work, or like I am literally drowning as it is. And if there's any deviance from where I already am, I'm fucked. And then shit like this happens where I need to go pay for my second exam. And I'm like, I can't even fucking pay for it. I can't even save $300. And then I have family members out of state who are like, oh, come visit, come visit. And I'm like, they're like, just save up a little money, get a plane ticket. I can't save for a plane ticket. Like, I can't even get enough money for fucking groceries in my house. Never mind buying a plane ticket to go stay out of state somewhere in a hotel that costs money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no room for fun in this type of life. It's just survival mode. And it kills me that there are people out there that don't understand it. And I just wish they could, because it hurts when they try to tell me, like, save your money, be better with your money. And I'm like, I'm just paying my fucking bills. That's all I've ever done. Okay.
Okay, again, so she was talking about saving money, saving money, saving money. It sounds like you need to make more money. Because she sounds like she used the word, what she say, surviving. You don't want to be in a situation where you're just surviving. And again, she just mentioned a lot of things that are very, very real. What if daycare gets more expensive? What if I lose hours at work? What if my car breaks down? What if, the light goes, the power, I don't know, something breaks in the house. She doesn't have money to fix that. How do I get this $300 to take the second try for the medical coding exam? I don't have that money. Credit card debt. This is where it happens. So people are telling her to save her money. She's saying she can't because she doesn't have enough money left over to save. That's fair enough. I'll give her that. But again, I'll be a broken record. You need more money. However you decide to do that, gotta get it done. And then she has kids, so it's more difficult when you have kids, obviously, because you have to find someone to watch them while you're doing your side hustle in the evenings. But you have to find some way to make more money in her case. She did mention she's going into medical billing and coding. And if I'm not mistaken, the average salary for medical billing and coding is somewhere around $45,000. Going back to what the person in the first video was so shocked about, which is not a bad income. I don't know what she's making now, but if she's going into that field to make more money, I'm assuming she's making less than that. So if she's making less than 45K with a couple kids, or she didn't say how many kids she has, it's time to maybe level up on your skills, which she is. She's trying to get medical billing and coding, so good enough. But yeah, it sounds like an income problem. And a lot of people are going through this, and I feel her pain. I know people who are struggling like this, living paycheck to paycheck, and it's not a pretty situation. So I wish the best for her.
I gotta tell you guys the low job offer my sister just got. So she's a senior in college. She's about to graduate. She doubled major, one in supply chain and the other one in business. She literally got a job offer for $55,000 a year. And I told her not to take it because honestly, you can make almost that much working at Starbucks without a college degree. So I don't know. I don't know if I gave her the right advice, but I just thought 55 a year was so low. And I told her to keep job hunting. But she's nervous because this economy, this job market is so rough. She doesn't know if she'll get another offer. Now, granted, it is March. She doesn't graduate until end of April. Let's just say May. So in my head, I think she has some time to just keep applying, networking, and get a job that pays more than what you make at Starbucks.
All right, guys, let's do some fact checking here, because she's talking about $55,000 a year at Starbucks. Now, unless she's talking about like a store manager or something, I don't see how you're making that much at Starbucks, even in Orange County, which is where it looks like she's located. I think baristas in California make somewhere around 20 to 25,000 a year. So, or not a year, per hour. So if you're making 25,000 an hour, that's 50K a year. So she might not be off with that, but I think it's closer to 20. But let's take a quick look, because 55,000 a year as a Starbucks employee. Like I said, if you're a barista, I don't see that happening. So let's take a quick look and see what the average is, because I'm curious myself. Okay, so it looks like a Starbucks store manager earns an average of $68,399 per year, which I say is 20% higher than the national average. So if you're talking about a Starbucks store manager, then sure, her sister can get a job at Starbucks making more than 55K a year. If you're talking about a barista though, I think a barista, let's see. So for a Starbucks barista in California, it looks like the average hourly wage is $19.02, which is 35% higher than the national average. So that's about 40,000 a year. So she's not too crazy far off when she's talking about you can make almost 55,000 as a Starbucks employee. Again, this is in California. With that being said though, the advice to her sister, personally speaking, I would say to her sister, just take the job, work at it for a year. During that year, get your experience and start applying for other jobs you can make more money. When I first graduated college, I had a business degree as well. And my specialization wasn't in supply chain management, which is a higher paying specialization normally. Mine was in management, so it was kind of redundant. But after my internship, my first real job, I was making 40,000 flat. This was back in like 2014 or 15. So a little bit more than 10 years later, I would imagine that the average salary for a entry-level business degree is higher. So let's see what that is, because I'm curious about that. So it looks like the average salary for entry-level business degree, it says, according to Google's AI, $80,000 per year essentially, which to me is actually very high. I'm not sure, this factors in a lot of different locations. I'm in a high cost of living area. I'm in an area where salaries tend to be higher. So I guess this is what inflation's done, which is not a bad thing. If prices have gone up, you would hope that salaries go up too, because this is double than what I was making as an undergrad. But as undergrad, I was probably a little bit underpaid as well. I think back then the average for a business degree holder was somewhere around 50,000 to 55. So it's looking like her sister might not have given the worst advice. At first, I was thinking her sister was kind of like giving her bad advice, and I wouldn't tell her to do that, but she might be telling her sister to do the right thing. But again, in this economy, I would say take what you can. And while you're working that job, earning some income and getting some more experience, look for other ways to make money, go to a different, look for other jobs in that, during that time. With that being said, if you made it this far in the video, I really, really appreciate you. Thank you for sticking around. If you got any type of entertainment or enjoyment from it, please feel free to give the video a like and to subscribe if you feel so too inclined. And until next time, make smart financial decisions.